Hey everybody, Ryan here at eTrailer. Today we're going to be checking out the Curt chrome-plated trailer hitch ball mount. When it comes to choosing a ball mount, it's a pretty important decision. There's a ton of them available out there, all the way, from ones that are very simple to ones that are really fancy. They're adjustable and have multiple different ball sizes and everything else like that. So you want to make sure you get the appropriate one for your particular setup. And with this deal here, since it is a fixed type ball mount, this is going to be ideal for those of you that, pretty much have one towed vehicle that you do all your towing with, and maybe a trailer or two, and that share the same ride height, more or less. And what that's going to allow you to do is hook up and keep everything nice and level whenever you're going down the road. Now, I will say probably one of the most important things is figuring that out, how much of a drop or rise you actually need in your ball mount. And it's super simple to do that. What you want to do is take your towed vehicle and back it up to your trailer. About something like this is fine, preferably on level ground, as level as you can get it. And you're just going to measure from the top inside edge of your receiver tube opening there on your hitch down to the ground. And then you're going to have your trailer here, make sure it is level, and have measure from the bottom of the coupler down to the ground. And that difference there in numbers or measurements, that's going to determine, how much of a drop or rise that you need. So this particular ball mount is going to have a 5 3/4 inch drop. So that's how far it's going to come down. And if you were to flip it over, you can also use it in a raised position. And in that position, it's going to be 4 1/4 of an inch. With that said, the ball mount is designed to work with those 2-inch by 2-inch hitches, so really common size. It'll work with a lot of different vehicles. And I want to mention, it's not going to come with a ball or a pin and clip. Not really a big deal. In our case, our customer here already had some from the past, so we just swapped them onto there. If you don't have any laying around the house, you can always grab those here at eTrailer. Just whatever ball you decide to go with, make sure that ball has a 1-inch shank. That's what the ball mount is designed to work with. So as long as you have that 1-inch shank, you should be in pretty good shape. And the pin and clip is going to be your standard 5/8, so nothing really too crazy there. One of the things that, I actually think the ball mount looks really good. It's got this chrome plating on here, and kind of just turns things up a little bit. And honestly, depending on what type of vehicle you have, I could see this looking real good, or probably lean towards something else. Like our Escalade here today, it just makes sense. It's a perfect fit. You got a lot of chrome accents and everything else, so it kind of adds a nice touch to the back of this truck. If I had an older pickup truck or something like that, I think I would be fine with just a regular old, black painted one and not get too carried away with the chrome. But to each your own. And if you like the chrome, you got it, and if you want to go a different route, there's other styles available as well. As far as the weight capacities go for the ball mount, they're going to be pretty high. Actually, this thing is really solid material, so it's going to hold up pretty well, at least in my opinion. With that said, the maximum gross tongue weight rating is going to be 750 pounds, and that's going to be the amount of weight that's pushing down on the ball. And keep in mind, that number as well as the next one I'm going to give you are for the the drop position, so having it set up like this. The maximum gross trailer weight rating is going to be 7,500 pounds, and that's going to be the amount of weight that is pulling on it. And then if you were to flip this over and have it in that rise position, because of that, the weight capacities do go down a little bit. In the rise position, maximum tongue weight 600, and the maximum gross trailer is 6,000. But with all that said, there's a lot of factors here. One, whatever your hitch is rated for, you don't want to exceed that specification. And the same holds true for your towed vehicle. If your towed vehicle is rated for less than this, you don't want to exceed that. So with that in mind, check your owner's manuals and your instructions, and never exceed the weight capacity for whichever component. is rated the least. Now, if you just look at the shank here on the ball mount, it is nice and thick, you know, it feels good. And where the hitch pin hole is, kind of in that perfect spot, you know, from it to the end of our shank here, it's relatively close. And chances are pretty good that's really not going to matter all that much. You know, generally speaking, a trailer hitch is never going to be so shallow that that's not going to fit in there, you know, so chances are really, really good that you're covered there. But some hitches are pretty deep, and you know, you don't want to put this in and the pinhole never line up with your hitch's pinhole and you bottom out on that bracing there. That measurement from the center of the pinhole to the closest point is 2 3/4 of an inch. And honestly, unless you had kind of an oddball type hitch or you know, one that's just excessively deep, you know, generally speaking, this is going to work with just about everything. So you should be in pretty good shape there. But other than that, you know, actually a pretty nice ball mount. You know, that chrome plating takes something that's otherwise kind of boring to look at to something that, you know, just adds a little bit of style or, you know, your own touch to the back of your vehicle. Well, with all that said, that's going to finish up our look at of the Curt chrome plated ball mount.